Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of All Suck At Starcraft. My name is Killjoy, and today we're going to be looking at another replay that me, Mr. Mark and Mr. Fruity played, so let's get into it. Okay, so this map, again, one that I've never played on before. It's just bush, reveal the entire map. Interesting map. While we're starting up here, you have this centerpiece here, you have a Vespene Geyser there, your base is fairly open. And you kind of fight by doing this, but you can also go around the map like that, and you can sneak around to the enemy's base. Anyway, down here we had Mr. Mark, he is Terran, you have me, who is a Terran also, and then Mr. Fruity, who is Protoss again. So, this is an interesting map. We never played on it before. We were looking for smaller maps to play on, as you'll see in some of the replays that we played on some big maps, but I'm just going to speed it up here because nothing really too interesting happens right at the moment. You'll see that I build a barracks fairly shortly. Probably going to see, yeah. And there we go. Barracks is down. Mr. Mark still building that. Probably going to build a supply depot, knowing him. Fruity obviously dropping down a warp pylon, sorry, there. So you see Mr. Mark still waiting to build that. It's a bit of a slow start. There we go, this is my first supply depot. So this is an interesting map. You'll see that I try to use to scout and also use the sides of things. Alright, slows down again. So we've got two gateway open there and a pylon there from Mr. Fruity, going with a fairly safe opening actually. It's always a good one. I've gone for one barracks. I think I started scouting around here sometime soon. Currently just got the one barracks. Probably gonna either scout this guy or put two barracks there. And then Mr. Mark finally always building these, getting his first barracks now. Very dangerous strategy he goes for here really, because by the time he starts pumping out Marines, you know, if you give it a bit of time, I could go over there and attack him. Obviously I wouldn't know this because I didn't do that during this game, but as you will see. So you'll see as this goes on, I get two barracks up and start really pumping out Marines. You'll see with Fruity, he does end up building quite a lot of Zealots and Dragoons, if I remember rightly. But oh, here we go. I scouted him here. Just having a look at his base. My SCV went all the way down and around and up. Just checking him out. I don't know where the Zealot's gone. There he is, he stood there. And I decided to leave. You'll see that... oh! He rises there, but as you can see, like, I decided to then go over here and scout what Mr. Mark was up to. I think this SCV gets killed. Yeah, just past, see the bunker, see the Marines, get shot a bit. So we'll go look for them, getting shot more. Starting his second barracks there, getting another bunker. Just pause it quickly. You can see, I think my dude, he flees. Quite a lot of SCVs as usual. The usual sort of standard thing that Mark does. We've got his second barracks coming down a bit later versus me. I've already got two barracks up. I've got a refinery. I've got the supply depots. Not building any bunkers at this point. This I think is not a bad idea. I probably wouldn't have too close to my base, but obviously on this map again it is fairly open. It's quite hard to defend. Going with only my second supply depot at this point. And if you look at what Fruity's doing, he is getting his cybernetics core, and he's got his two gateways, and he's still pumping out Zealots from both. Fairly large amount of probes at this point. Now you'll see, oh, there goes Zealot. I do believe these guys have a fight at some point in the game. I didn't see it, I only heard it. Not building any Marines currently, but yeah, I tried to eventually try to get 4 barracks down and really pump out a huge amount of bio forces here. There's this little Ranadon running around at Mark's base, loading at one bunker, almost finishing off his barracks. So we'll see if either of they're getting another supply depot, academy, sorry. There, interesting placement of that. So as you can see, a very defensive stance from Mr. Mark, and this would be a really good time if Fruity had gone for DTs. That would have been a perfect time to sneak in there actually. No, I mean, it'd probably be a little bit later on in the game. What's he getting now? We've got a pylon, we've got Citadel done. Fantastic upgrade in terms of Zealot legs. That's a must-have with a very heavily armoured group. They're not seeing a forge yet. We've obviously got the cybernetics core, so he can get dragoons, which he is now building. But maybe we'll see a forge come down and maybe think about upgrades. Yeah, I'm still building the marines. The marine count's getting fairly high. I think oh yeah, I built a bunker here to check out on the map to look for any kind of attack which could possibly happen. What have we got there? I'm finally getting an engineering bay. No sign of an academy. I've got my refinery getting gas from that. You see the academy here. You see an engineering bay coming under construction now. For Mark, he probably will at some point get the uranium upgrade, whatever it is, to increase the range of marines from there. Another bunker at the back of the base. Interesting choice. If you again look at the entire map here, you know that there is this part here, who I assume Fruity may have attacked from as well, because I know I definitely attacked from the top there. So yeah, we've got these two barracks going on here. We've got the engineering bay and construction. I think our mine's done. I'm getting +1. Building a turret down here. Mainly focusing on getting a lot of marines. As you can see, a fairly big army, which I could have gone and attacked, and probably should have snuck around the back here and wiped out a lot of SCVs. Right, as you can see, Fruity now has some dragoons out with his zealots. I believe Zealot Legs is under production. We've now got an extra gateway. We've got a forge, pylons here, trying to wall off, I think, make it harder for any enemies to come into this base. And as you can see, he's moving out. 2 dragoons, and I never saw this fight, so let's see what happens. I'm going to assume he's going to wait until Legs gets done. Oh, we'll have to keep an eye on that. I'm going to guess that Legs gets done, and then he moves in. He's probably going to charge into these, which is probably going to be the mistake here, but Dragoon's doing a lot of damage. I mean, so do these guys, doing 16 damage attack. 20 damage. Oh, he's moving in. Moving in here. I feel like Legs would have been the smart choice. No, moving away again. Interesting. Not really achieving anything. Oh, coming up to me now, is he? Is that what's going on here? At this point, I have a fairly huge amount of marines. I've got another. I've got my academy finally going down quite late in the game. 6 minutes. Not really the smart thing. Building a bunker here because I'm a little bit worried about being attacked from the side. Fruity returning to his base. I think if he'd waited till Legs was done, I think he could have gone in there and actually done some serious damage. You can see Mark now building a factory, got the machine shop going down, still pumping out marines, wasting his minerals there, instead of queuing them at 1 by 1. Getting a medic out, always useful. What's he got building now? We've got another supply depot, fair amount of SCVs. Actually playing fairly well this game. Some marines down here, probably protecting from the side. Up on hit my base, I've got a SCV not doing anything. Oh, there he goes. Yeah, I got my academy, getting my +1 upgrade, building an extra bunker here, and still just pumping out a lot of marines. Fairly large army. Getting a few medics in here now just to be able to back them up. Probably going to start researching Steam if I haven't already at this point. Alright, Mr. Fruity, what is he doing now? He is getting shield upgrades, which is a great upgrade. Costs a lot of money, but it does affect pretty much everything in your army, as well as, I assume, the buildings. Getting dragoons left, right and centre, so he gets a fairly big army here. Getting the dragoon upgrade range, very, very nice. Other than that, we're not really seeing much else happen with this guy. I think we're just all sort of sat back building armies. Oh yeah, so we missed the bit where there is a singular zealot up here, being running around. Is he leaving? Oh, he's left. Okay, so I sent a marine over there. He did at one point get killed by that zealot. The zealot is now left back to his main army. So I leave this set of guys here to defend from that, and then I have extra barracks goes down, which just starts pumping out fire bats now, and then another barracks down. So you'll see full barracks for a while. I've decided to stay on this tech just to get a fairly bulky army. There goes a probe. I assume he's going to expand down there. Let's see what happens. What are you going to do, Mr. Probe? Are you going to expand? He's just going to sit there. I assume he's going to expand to Nexus. What we have here is we've got a siege tank going down there, which is a fairly safe place. Putting down some missile turrets at the back of the base, always useful. Just good for detection, but also protecting partly here the mineral field, which is nice. We've still got these bunkers. Not a huge army. Well, actually, a fairly big army, spread out quite nicely, defending all parts of the base. What we're getting down here, we're seeing the Nexus and Progress Center. So this is a good idea to expand here, because he probably knows that Mark is not going to come down there. Whereas up there he's probably seen I have my army. I do end up building a bunker just to give me some vision. So you'll see that I have this here and I have that there, just so that I can see any guys coming along. Though I will say my keeping an eye on the map I am not great at. So at this point I've got, as soon I've got +1 of these guys, I just soon decide to send them around here to attack. Still pumping out some fire bats there. Probably spending it on something else at this point, getting a missile turret case for that. Finally getting stim, getting the upgrade there. These empty bunkers are just here in case I need to retreat. Got the comsat center, probably would have scanned Mark at this point. We see this is almost finished up. And then we got going on here. We got another pylon. We got a fairly big army actually, considering they got shields +1. Now this is a scary army. There's a lot of dragoons. Now with these guys having zealot legs as well, also being fairly good. If he was to attack into either of us, actually, I think he'd do some severe damage. We've only got the 2 siege tanks currently from Mr. Mark. He's got +1. He's now getting the ground upgrade, which is I've almost got now. I do. Oh yeah, I killed that little roaming dude. Who's this guy? Because I'm cruel like that. So we see this group of dragoons here. We've got a group of zealots. Fairly good size, and also with that upgrade, making their shields last longer. I send a marine down here to go and have a little gander, just to have a little look, see what's going on. And I do believe I actually see most of this at some point, and then leave. He still stood there, yep. Okay, so I come down, I think I see the dragoons, and I'm like, yeah, I'm leaving. Like, see you later. Huge amount of medics. That's what ends up happening here. Fairly soon, these guys are going to go. Please move out. Mark's still churning out. He's got a siege tank there now, churning out a lot of Marines, medics as well. 3 barracks. Fairly good structure here. Playing a lot better this game, I think. In terms of having more space, but also churning out a lot of dudes, spending all his money on Marines, which is good. Now, not quite +1/+1, but they do have it, and they're about to get it. Another bunker there. Very hard to fly over this base. In fact, actually, that's the best place to attack. We see these guys coming from behind, take out the tank. Probably going to wreck most of this army. I didn't see this attack, which is interesting. So during this time, when he's doing that, I was like, right, I can hear fighting, let's go. And this is probably going to do a fair amount of damage. There's a lot of DPS though in these Marines, as you can see, and now with +1/+1. Fairly good attack though. Just getting some information on him, destroying that tank, obviously a costly unit. So during this time, I then decide to run down here without the medics for some reason. There they are. And I run into the middle line and I stim, and yeah, this goes fairly nicely for me. I'm killing pretty much all of the probes, and that's just the one. That was fairly good time. But you see the dragoons turning up here. There you go, most of them are dead. I just leave this army to die at this point. These guys do a lot of damage. They now do 2+2, and versus these guys, it's not going to last too long. I don't know what's going on there. Dead. There go the medics. Let me see, this medic gets killed there as well. Bit of a costly attack for Mr. Fruity, but he does have this other mining base, so he's not like he's completely out of the game. Then I decided to do the same thing, but send a huge... This was a bit of a mistake on my half. Firebats would have been better if I told them to stay. We have an attack here from... Ooh, where's it going? Is it going across? Or is it coming up? So this is an interesting battle, because I think I have stim and he does not. So you see, a lot of medics with stim. It's a fair decent amount of Marines, but also firebat. Boom! He's shooting the firebat, which is fine, but stim Marines there. Proving to be a little bit superior. Also at this time I've now got a factory, no sign of a starport, armory's coming up, having to replenish this army. But here we go. I decided to attack into Mark's base now with this set of dudes here. Biggest problem I made here was that when a fireback gets attacked, what do? They run towards the friggin' enemy. So what I should have done was focus fire on the SCVs. Bit of a mistake. I didn't kill a lot of dudes, which is good. Obviously the tank also shooting them. Not sure how many I actually killed. And destroying this turret, possibly. I did not know I did that, but that was cool. So that happened. During this time, we can see that through he's fairly rebuilt most of the, or it's getting to that point where rebuilding most of the probes there. His army's moving out. Now this +1/+1 here, shame they're getting stuck there, that's a bit frustrating for him. That's the problem with Dragoons there, hitbox is so wonky. About to see an attack here. Probably a bit of a dangerous game. If he gets rid of the siege tank, this is probably easy to deal with. We know that he's not going to have stim, I don't think. Unlikely, but we'll see what happens. I didn't see this attack, but I imagine this is going to go fairly well for him if he shoots the tank anyway. Oh, please shoot the tank. Shoot the tank. God, shoot the tank. Yes. Lots of DPS there. It's a shame he didn't have any zealots. That's unfortunate. That would have been done a lot better if he had like zealots in there. Me just amassing all this sort of stuff. You can see it started popping out some Goliaths. Actually, 2 factories. I don't remember that. There we go. Is my starport coming down. Science vessel then goes up fairly shortly. But getting some of these guys in. Thinking I needed something a bit more punch. They're actually really, really good because I end up getting Terran armor for them. I believe ground armor. Sorry. Building up the starport very late in the game. And now getting a science facility so I can get better upgrades. So I think Mr. Fruity here is in a fairly bad position currently because he lost most of his army. He's the only person who's mining on 2 bases, so he's got a lot of money. Probably pumping out 4 gateways as well. Now going for ground armor, which is good, so it'll be 1-1-1. I am still on 1-1, and we see that Mr. Mark here is also still on 1-1 with no upgrades to the tank. Does he even have an armory? No, he does not. I think this is pretty much his base at this point. He doesn't actually build many things else. There's no armory, plenty of supply depots. Interesting construction of the base, trapping this one bunker and missile turret here, keeping it fairly defensible. This guy's here, but you can see he's starting to run out. I at one point do decide to build some ghosts, which you'll get to see later on, but I know that I think I tried to attack him behind here again, and he decides to go up rebuilding another bunker there. There goes a tank, which is a pain in the ass, as I point out. Right, so another attack here from me, coming down here, taking out these probes again. I believe his army gets stuck on his buildings, and is kind of that is it. So there I am, stood here, just shooting these guys. Still a 1-1-1, but doing an alright job here. This guy gets stuck because, again, hitboxes wonky. Look at that. This army should have died to that. He's left because, quite frankly, who wants to deal with that? So, Mr. Fruity leaves. There's this invisible thing going on. So we might as well speed up a little bit here. We do see that I've got a few Goliaths. I think we've got armor now, so it gives them +1/+1. And I think the next thing that happens is we get an attack from Mr. Mark from behind, or it might be me from behind. Plenty of siege tanks. Still no upgrades on those siege tanks, which is a shame because I think if he'd gone for, considering how defensive they are, if he could have gone with the upgrade and got the extra attack. I mean, they already do 70, but the extra damage would have been nice. Not making anything from this, using this, getting covert ops, learning some stuff like that. Probably getting, yep, +2 for my dudes. As you can see, fairly big army there. Lots of medics. Probably get done with more firebats in there, and also at some point, ghosts start popping out, which is fun. Oh yeah, here we go. This is the second set of firebat guys who basically get wrecked for all intents and purposes. You have to go. I'm going for a little wander. Go on, guys. You can do it. Knowing at this point, let's just look at his army. Most of his army's at the front of his base, and he's not defending the back of it. Mistake was that there's a tank, and these guys just die pretty quickly as soon as I stim. Stim. There goes the tank. I think. Maybe not. Look at that. Achieved nothing. Achieved nothing. That was a poor attack. What I should have done was... I don't even know. Probably should have waited, actually, and then attacked from a different angle and then gone in. But Never mind, he re-heals it up. And now I do believe this is where we see I'm still getting upgrades for the ghosts, and you'll see that there is a big bunch of these guys at this point. We will see that there is a ghost somewhere out on the field. Where, I can't remember. Ah, right, so now we get the next attack. Mr. Mark sending up a group of dudes. A fairly large part of an army, I think, goes up here. A few medics in this. Still on 1-1. I don't think he gets a science facility, so he never gets past the 1-1. Yep, not seeing that. Not seeing any upgrades. Not seeing an armory at all. But we will see this army move up fairly shortly. And these guys are what goes and deals with it. Not getting upgraded again. I think they get +2 armor before I get attacked, or is that not the case? Or they might get it during it. You will see a ghost somewhere, whether he's gone, I can't remember. Oh, and a science facility, because... Science facility? Science vessel. So I wanted some detection in case something happened. Oh, maybe we will get Terran armor too. So, there he is. I see that he's shooting this. I'm like, uh-oh, that's not good. Ah, the ghost was over there the whole time, that's right. So now I move these guys in, who very quickly get it, and turns out very effective against Marines, these guys. They do 12 damage, they've got +2 armor, they don't die very easily, and it keeps them coming. And as you can see, with that extra armor, completely mop that up altogether. I'm like, right, fine, screw you. I actually really like Goliaths, I don't build them enough, but they are fun, they're a good battle attack. So that happens, and then now we get to see this guy, I believe. Oh no, forgot at this time I am now building on a nuclear silo, building up another thing there to expand. Took me long enough, look at what time of the game it is. These guys, oh, they'll fuck off because I've mined out, essentially. But we will see this dude go in with his very little upgrade. Good unit, but you will see him go in and nuke. So let's speed up. What do we see Mr. Mark doing? Not a huge amount. He's pretty much mined out there. He's not mining anywhere else. But he's got a fairly defensible position. It's gone pretty heavy on the bunkers. That's the nice thing about Terran. You can dig in fairly well there. We've got these Goliaths hanging around here who will eventually come down and attack at the back. I'm not sure what his army's doing, but he's got a set of army here. At some point, when the nuke is done, I think that's when the... oh yeah, and I eventually do get this, because I forget that that's there. Because I was like, I need more gas. This guy, off he goes. You gonna go, Mr. Dude? For some reason I sent a fire bat in there. I think that was just to see stuff. There he goes. Let's keep an eye on this guy. Goes in there. Sort of run along.
Nuclear launch detected.
Now, you probably can't see that, but there's a little red dot just there. And, bang. Killed pretty much everything there. Let's just slow that down a second. I mean, look at the damage. Nuke. Fairly bloody powerful. Probably a bit confused. A bit like, so what do? I'm like, you know what? I'm going to build another nuke, and that's exactly what happens. We've got my detector there. For some reason, an SCV's in this army. It's like, oh, gotta repair everything, no money left, nothing. So this is sort of the beginning of the end. Here come the Goliaths, getting ready to roll down the back. I think, here we go, another nuke coming in. Not sure what these guys are doing, probably shooting a dude. There are some Marines coming up. These guys coming in, putting defensive matrix, as you will see it on them, that Goliaths taking out these guys. Defensive matrix will eventually go down onto these. This guy's going to nuke the base again. Bit of tank. Don't know why there's an SCV in there, but there is. Where's he go? Where's that nuke? Line up a few things. I think I decided to move back. I actually managed to kill a lot of stuff off because of the amount of medics I have. I think it makes a huge difference. This tank eventually dies. There it goes. He's still there. So they're still shooting things. CB getting involved. There's a bit more of an army. This guy's coming down and he's going to nuke this area, I believe. Oh no, he nukes there. Yeah, right there. And I think that pretty much ends the game. End up pulling my dudes back. So I'm like, oh god, there's a nuke coming down, and it kills off all of these guys, as you will now see. There we go, bang, bye-bye. Sets literally everything on fire. Nothing's burning, and I just move back in with very little army. This guy doing the work. I'm thinking we're probably like, oh, I didn't get any more upgrades at this point. I think Mark at this point has very little left. He's got a siege tank there. This guy's just sort of stood around, not even researching upgrades at all, not even building much apart from now churning out a ton of Marines. Bit of an army there that still stood around. And just finishing off, really mopping up the last of the stuff. The one Marine. You'll see the rest of the guys coming down now. All the Goliaths, I think, got killed. Yes, they did. Fairly defensive position back there. Oh yeah, putting the defensive matrix down on this guy. There goes the ghost. Just shooting these guys. Taking his time. Shoot some things, damn it. And there we go. And you see Mr. Mark leave there. And that was it. That was the game. You can see that, you know, it was a fairly fun map actually. It opens to different attacks because you can obviously come up through the middle, which is the obvious way, but this one, yeah, had a lot of fun with that map. Probably would have done it better, probably should have been more aggressive. I think that's the biggest theme here, is not being aggressive enough in these maps. But as always, thank you very much for watching this. We've got a few more episodes coming your way, so stay tuned, and I'll see you guys next time.